Good day. I greet you with many blessings, and I count it joy, and I count it favor from God on above. We would like you to check out our videos and our recordings dealing with some topics and issues that we will be shedding a light on that maybe you did not know about. So please be sure to check out KWJ Incorporated YouTube channel and subscribe. That we will be revealing a lot of things in history, past, present, and even future that may be a benefit and a blessing to you. God bless you. What was Abraham Lincoln's true ethnicity? We will provide you a picture, but while I'm talking, I want you to get out a quarter, get out a dime, get out a nickel, get out a penny. Okay? Just plate them on their head, heads and tails. Place all the quarter, the dime, the nickel, and the penny on their head. The quarter is facing to the left. The dime is facing to the left. The nickel is facing to the left. But the penny is facing to the right. Why does the other three presidents turn their back on Abraham Lincoln? And why is the penny the most insignificant, the most insignificant money that the U.S. currency still has in place? It takes 42 cents to make a penny, but we still make it. Does that make any sense to you? We got homeless people starving. People still need jobs, but they want to spend 42 cents on a penny? Wait a minute, something ain't right. Well, it will show you. See, God will shine light. Whatever's done in the dark will eventually come to the light. The quarter, the dime, the nickel, they all face to the left. The penny face to the right. Why is Abraham Lincoln on the penny? Why? Now we got these two movies that came out a few years ago. You got Abraham Lincoln, the bio. You got Abraham Lincoln, the vampire killer. See, that's what they do to us. They make us look silly, foolish. You see what they did to Wesley Snipes? He was in all these movies, right? Killing vampires, right? Blade 1, Blade 2, Blade 3. And they locked him up in jail for not paying his taxes. They want to make us look silly. They want to make us look foolish. That's why we should be the main ones running to the church. Not the Catholic Church, the real church. The real church. We should be running. But both of these movies, they had several things in common. Both of the movies display who was Abraham Lincoln's best friend. Both of the movies said his best friend was a black man. Now, I'm not talking about little kids, because most kids, until we turn them out of themselves, they're just as pure, just as happy. They don't see color. They just want to play, eat what they want to eat, be happy, That's who kids is. I'm talking about when Abraham Lincoln was a grown man. His best friend was a black man. You say, what? Yeah, Abraham Lincoln in both movies showed it. Now the biopic movie, it started off as a tall, dark handsome young man with nappy hair. Now, when is the last time you saw a white man refer to tall, dark, and handsome with nappy hair? They don't talk about them like that. You can Google it, because many of the information that I released today that y'all didn't know about, they not going to kill me about this on Google. If it wasn't on Google, I wouldn't tell you. I know a lot of more stuff that I'm not going to tell you, because you wouldn't believe me anyway if you couldn't Google it. That's the disgrace we do to our people. It has to come through Google for us to believe it. Well, when Jesus was walking earth, there was no Google. Huh? There was no Google. Now, if you Google Abraham Lincoln, his mother, I believe his mother, Nancy was, it said that she has African descent. Now that's on Google. That is on Google. But what they won't tell you is that his father was a black man. Now, when have you saw during the time of slavery a white man that was 6'7" or 6'8"? It does not exist. This is it. You say, well, wait a minute. Why is all the white people short? Because that's their descent. Abraham Lincoln was 6'7", 6'8". Okay? Even in the movies, he is the darkest white man we ever saw in our life. Put his picture up to Drake. Huh? That's what you need to do. Who is Drake? The people you listen to. Huh? Hot, line, bling, and all that stuff y'all listen to. It's not spiritual, not godly, just a heathen thug. Helping camouflage the information that God wants you to have. Abraham Lincoln was of black descent. Okay? And they even said that his wife is not buried in the cemetery of the presidents along with their wives. She's buried in Europe. The only first lady ever. Why is that so? Huh? Because she was married to a black man. Ain't enough room in here for you in this grave. Okay? And during this time frame, don't you know, they considered you, if you had 1/32 of African American blood in you, you were a Negro. So what are you saying? They told you that it took 32 of them to equal one of you. Ain't you glad that you saved? I am glad that I'm black. Okay? 32. If you had 1/32 of African blood in your body, you was considered a Negro. And this is why we have weddings here today. In 2019, you still see people get married jumping over a broom. Because if you had 1/32 of African blood in your body, it was a law that you could not get married. So the only way to show that you were married was to jump over a broom. Huh? Me and my wife jumped over a broom. To reference what has happened. Why do you think slavery was going on years and years? Why do you think Abraham Lincoln was the first president to see that slavery be abolished? He was a black man. Why do you think Abraham Lincoln was assassinated? The first president. He wasn't the first, but he was the first to be killed in office. He was a black man. Why do you think Abraham Lincoln lived in a cabin? They didn't want him in the White House. Where was slaves living? If they wasn't living in tents, they was living in cabins. He was a black man. Why do you think the movie opened up and said he had nappy hair? Relaxer wasn't created then. Huh? Was it? No wave grease invented then. He was a black man. Abraham Lincoln was a black man. And last topic we want to deal with during this recording, dealing with the history of Black America. Who invented hockey? Many of y'all thought that the individuals in Canada, white people, invented hockey. You're sadly mistaken. Now we know that Lord Stanley of Preston, the General Governor of Canada, is credited for the invention. They even named the Stanley Cup, which is a trophy, in his favor. Well, you say, well, the Underground Railroad, the Underground Railroad, the Underground Railroad, the Underground Railroad. Where did it stop? Thank you for asking. It stopped in Canada. It stopped in Canada. Oftentimes, you still wasn't free if you was in the North. Blacks had better lifestyles in the North. They was not slaves in the North, but your freedom often was not considered to be truly free unless you was in another country. Canada, Canada, oh Canada, Canada. Okay, when they got to Canada, just like I talked about in the previous segment, that they had to entertain themselves. Canada, Canada, cold, cold, snow, ice. Especially coming through Detroit, going to Canada through Windsor, okay? The Great Lakes. They were surrounded by many bodies of water that were frozen. Frozen ice. Okay? And they had to entertain themselves. So, and a lot of this stuff, they didn't have means of income, they didn't have money, they didn't have anything of value. So, they broke off 2 sticks from a tree, okay, and took a stone by the water and made it to hit the stone. And if I can get the stone on this side of the lake, the river, the stream, because it was frozen, I win or I score a point. Okay? And since that was the ending spot of those that were traveling through the Underground Railroad, many slaves, to this day, families have been migrated to Canada. Okay? So when I see a black African-American young man playing NHL, we invented it. We invented that sport. Huh? Not Lord Stanley. Us. Us. We're going to get into more inventions. Because, see, the slave owners thought they was getting workers. They was getting scientists. God did that. Huh? Do my prophet no harm. So we thank God for the many of things that we dealt with on today, dealing with who was the first president, dealing with who were the first cowboys truly, dealing with what truly started the Civil War, dealing with Abraham Lincoln's ethnicity, dealing with, finally, who invented hockey. We did. Runaway slaves invented hockey. Hopefully this information we share with you will be extremely beneficial, and you can share it with somebody else, that it may be a blessing. God bless you, and we love you.